Welcome! It's a great day to be a miner because we've got some new special edition hardware from IceRiver. We're going to unbox it, we're going to talk about it, and go over all the specs and features. But first, let's spin that intro. And we're back. Before me, I have 3 deliveries from IceRiver. These are all special edition Ks0 Pros. We're gonna unbox these things and we're gonna take a look at them, and then we're gonna go over the specs and features, and maybe even we'll dive into profitability and whether or not you should buy these. But let's go ahead and get started. So I guess you wanna know what's in the box.
Oh, what's in the box?
I guess you already know what's in the box. So you know what time it is. RGB knife. Engage. All right, let's just open, let's clear these off and let's just open one up and then see what it looks like. I'm really curious to see how these look. So let's make these disappear. Ready? Go. All right, so there we are. We're inside, and it should be entombed into the nice thick foam. As always, that's what they kind of tend to do here, and that actually keeps them really well protected. They do a really good job of shipping these things. So right off the bat, there's our first quick glimpse, and it is almost like an anodized metal, and it's kind of like that green teal, the Kaspa special color. So yeah, hopefully the camera does that justice, just getting a good look at it. And then we've got a little special thing in here. So what is this? It looks like a nice little ring box. So what what comes with the special edition? And very nice indeed. We've got a little Kaspa keychain. It's just a little thin, I don't know, 1/4 inch, probably 1/8 inch thick aluminum Kaspa logo keychain. So that's interesting. I didn't know that these came with that. So yeah, that's pretty nifty. And then I didn't order the power supply with these guys, so it's just the unit. And these things are really hard to get out of here. Let's see if I can get it out quickly, or if I have to actually shut the camera off so you don't see me struggling to get this thing out of the tomb. Ugh. All right, that wasn't too bad. If you try to wrestle that thing, it can be a pain. Yeah. Okay. So let's take a closer look at this guy. Oh man, that is so pretty. It looks so much better than the regular Pro. So yeah, there's the front, and it's got the nice little Kaspa K logo right here. It's kind of interesting how they chose to put it though. Before we go into this device specifically, I'm gonna tell you, I ordered these as 3 separate shipments. I ordered one the day that they showed up on the website. I ordered another one when I got some FOMO feeling about a week later. And then I just recently ordered another one when they popped back up on the website, probably about 2 weeks ago. They popped back up available and they were only available for a day. I ordered a 3rd one. And the interesting thing is, one came one day and then I got 2 on the next shipment. But I ordered them as 3 separate orders. They each were about $400, and I didn't have to pay customs on them. And I know if you would order over, I think $600 US, then you get charged customs, and maybe because they came in as 3 separate orders, I didn't have to deal with the customs. So that's just something to keep in mind whenever you're ordering something like this or an Asic from overseas, is that you got to watch out for the additional customs, because they can be as much as 30% in some places. So yeah. There it is, it's came in now, and we just got the one right here. It's a Ks0 Pro. So instantly, the beautiful metal makes a huge difference in just the cosmetic appearance. And what other differences do we see? Of course, we've got the K logo. So this is interesting, and it doesn't seem to be very well done. So on the very end here, we now have a new warranty void if removed safety sticker. Before, you could take off these end caps and not have to deal with the safety sticker. The only safety sticker was actually on one single of the 6 screws to take the plate off. So this kind of loops onto the front, but look, I mean, if they're all like this, like literally I can just pry it just a little bit and take my faceplate off, because to really properly cool these, if you're gonna OC these things, you need to take both the front and the back plate off. It's a no-brainer. That is a must with any of these devices. Even if you're not overclocking this thing, I would highly advise to take the front and the back plate off. Again, not financial advice and blah, 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 blah. If you void your warranty, that's on you. But me personally, I'm taking the front and the back plate off these things. I'm putting a fan on the side, I'm blowing the air in, and then that causes a sandwich action, which then forces the air out of both ends because you've got air blowing in from the two mini fans in this way, you've got the back fan blowing in this way, and then you've got the air coming out both sides. And that doesn't just cool the chips, it also puts some air onto your MOSFETs, and that's notorious for overheating on these devices. So yeah. So I think I'll be able to get this plate off fairly easily. This is the type of sticker, much like some GPU companies like Gigabyte always use on their bags and whatnot, like to show that it's been sealed. If you start to pull this off and it's stuck really well, it will leave like the sticker metal residue kind of on the device. And I'm sure if I pull this back a little, that's what it's gonna do. Yeah, so it is kind of leaving a little of the sticker behind where you can see it says void. But since the top isn't even pressed down, I think I can still just take the plate off, and if I ever need to deal with warranty, I could probably just put the plate back on both sides. But of course, I'm gonna void this warranty anyway. I'm gonna stick some MOSFET heat sinks on all of these, and I'm gonna overclock them. Before we go into depth on whether you should buy these and how they perform and whatnot, let's just get some good close-up action and take a look at this thing, and so you can really appreciate how nice this thing looks. Let's go ahead and do that. So there she is. She is a beaut. This is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful piece of hardware, really. So there, yeah, she looks beautiful. I need to stop talking about just how it looks. Let's talk about how it performs. So these are rated 200 gigahash. Now let's talk about how much this makes stock and how long it'll take to ROI, and then we'll talk about how long on a standard type overclock and setup, because it's going to cost more, and then how long it's going to take to ROI that additional cost. So let's just go today, all things equal, as it stands today. If this were stock and I just plug it in and I start hashing away, I'm going to make $1.55 worth of Kaspa per day on this. The total cost on this was $415, counting a PSU. I didn't order it with a PSU, but if I ordered it with a PSU to my door, would have been $415 from direct from IceRiver. It would earn $1.55 worth of Kaspa per day. After electric, my standard electric's about 12 cents per kilowatt hour. I would make $1.26 profit per day running this guy. And that would take 329 days to ROI. So yeah, it's not very promising, is it? Nearly a year to ROI this guy. Now, let's say we overclock this thing as I'm going to. So the unit itself costs $395. We're gonna add just a $10 fan on the side. I'll make sure to link all the components I use down in the description. Plus, I also have links to where I actually do the thermal complete rebuild on these things. So check those videos out if you have any questions. But I just use standard USB RGB fans because we all know RGB adds hash rate. So I'm using UpHere fans. You get 2 of them for $20. They run off the USB and they just have a 3-speed toggle, and for lower overclocking, they do the work just fine. So you slap that on. There's an additional $10. Now, we didn't order the regular power supply because we need an upgraded power supply. We need 180 watts, at least, power supply. You could do a 230, but you're gonna go a lot more on the cost. You can do a 180 watt power supply for this thing for only $18 to $20. Again, I'll link that down in the description. I have a whole Amazon store with the components that I've been using for IceRiver, so check those out if you need any of these components. For 18 bucks for the power supply, you pay less for that 180 watt power supply than you would for the $20 power supply for the standard power supply from IceRiver. So yeah, we've got $395, $10 for the fan, $20 for the PSU, I rounded up. Then we have thermal components. We need to put heat sinks on our MOSFETs. We need thermal glue, thermal paste, and thermal pad. That'll run you about 10 bucks per unit if you're parting it out, because you're only using a little bit of thermal paste, you're only using a little bit of the thermal pads, and so yeah, you're not using all of that at once, so you're talking about a $10 cost. Total cost for this thing before overclocking, $435. If you use the free firmware, the PB Farmer, that's what I've been using. I have used the T-Swift software. Of course, there's an additional cost, or you can use the T-Swift software with the where they take out the 1% hash rate off of it as well. That's up to you. I'm not going to advise one way or another. I've used T-Swift and I like it, and I paid Kaspa for it. I also use the PB Farmer, which is free, and then you can let you control your overclocking a little bit more. So $435. With the upgrades, instead of $1.55 per day, it would make $2.14 per day. Then my electric, of course, is going to go up because I'm using more power, and then it's going to use $1.77. It's going to make $1.77 profit on my electric rate after electricity. So $1.77 for a $335 device. That would equal 246 day ROI with it overclocked completely how it's set up. And that's with all things being equal. Again, I want to remind you, this hash rate has been climbing for months. For months, the IceRiver, the Kaspa network rather, has just steadily risen. It just keeps going up and up. I'll put a screenshot of the hash rate. It's actually not climbing this way. It's been an exponential growth for this network. It's pretty wild actually, because way back when they first dropped these out and I went, there's no way it's going to keep going. It can't go at this rate. It can't keep going. But then Bitmain drops some ASICs, and 3 or 4 other companies have now brought out ASICs on the Kaspa network. So yeah, the hash rate keeps going up. And what does that mean for small devices like that, this specific one? It means that they're gonna make less revenue. They're gonna generate less Kaspa per gigahash, per terahash, per whatever. You're gonna make less per more hash rate. That's just the way the game is. And then it's gonna get to eventually to a point where the hardware stops selling because it's not as profitable. And then it's gonna level off, and maybe these things only make $1 a day. Maybe they drop clear to 50 cents a day, which that would be pretty bad, but you don't know. So yeah, that's kind of the rundown on the ROI and how much these things make per day. And so what are the positives about this thing? Obviously, you have that big negative of the hash rate keeps rising and the profitability keeps dropping. And now the biggest positive on these things is it's an at-home miner, right? It has a low barrier of entry. Not everyone has 240 volt power to go get a big boy, and not everybody has the electric rate to go get a 4,000 watt ASIC and just jam it on, yet alone the components that it takes, the additional circuit, the additional, you know, just the strain on your main electric system. Not everybody can do that. These little guys use hardly any power. You can literally hook it up, put it in the corner, put it on a desk, run it all day, and not even have to think about it. The other thing is they just work. You know, once you're on a pool and it's just mining away, there's no maintenance. You're not constantly adjusting it, and unless you're like me and you just keep playing with it for the fun of it and trying to get the most out of your overclocks and the most efficiencies. But yeah, that's a huge pro. The cost is relatively cheap barrier of entry. This costs you less than a good modern GPU does nowadays. Back in the day, for $400, you pay more than that for a 3070 GPU, and a GPU wouldn't mine as well as one of these do. So that's another pro. So the biggest thing at the end of the day is, should you buy this guy? Should you buy one of these IceRiver Ks0 Pros? I would love to advise you to go out and grab a swarm of these, but it depends on your financial situation. Do you have expendable income? Do you need the profits of this thing? If you can't afford to lose $400, don't buy one of these. If you have expendable income, you can afford to drop $400 with the potential of never actually ROI in it, then yeah, absolutely, go drop it. Join the mining community. It's fun. It's fun joining. I just recently started mining a new project called Bugna with this thing. You can mine Cedra coin with this. The fact that this algorithm is forking into other algorithms makes this more desirable, because now you can take a little bit of that giant hash rate off the Kaspa network and you can shift a little over here. You can shift a little over there. If you go mine Bugna right now, you could stack a really fat crypto bag of that stuff and sit on it. Sit on it and wait and see if that project develops. I have a whole tutorial video on it. Make sure to go check it out above. Go over there, it'll tell you all about the project, how to set it up. It's really in its infancy. Stack a bag of that, sit on it. Wait till it hits an exchange, and maybe it goes 10x, maybe it goes 100x. Maybe you make $5,000 just by dropping your little bag. You never know. So yeah, that's crypto in a whole, and that's the risk you take, and that's why I still love these devices. That's why I picked up 3 more. I'm gonna have a nice solid 6 Pros running, and I think that's where I'm gonna stop buying personally. But yeah, tell me what you think. Tell me if I'm a fool for buying 3 more of these. If I am, tell me down in the comments. Say, Alter, you're a fool. Don't buy these mini Asics anymore. They're not worth your money because of whatever. And if you're new to mining, make sure to check out the Misfit Mining Discord. There's always plenty of seasoned vets in there willing to help you out. And if you liked the video, you know what to do. Smash that like button and subscribe for future content. Thanks for coming along, and enjoy the ride.